All right, all you devils out there, happy Friday. Sam here with you. Whoa, it's about 1:20 here on the 29th. So we'll do a quick update here on Bitcoin, maybe take a peek at Ethereum as well. Yeah, I'm just out here on the, what have I got, a 24-hour here. I'm just kind of, is there enough here to really warrant any modification on the higher time frame? I don't think so, not yet, although there's some swing structure down here off of this last low that might be perhaps showing signs of bullishness. We'll see. We'll take a look at it in a second. Right, I'm just kind of looking at this here, and the premise being that if this is indeed, if we completed the impulse up here, well, we're going to do this in three, right? So right now, you can make a case here that we've got an A, we've got a B, and we've got a C in. Well, if that's the case, right, because I can get 5 down, well, then we shouldn't break below this again. Of course, if we do, then we're going to start to rethink the count. Then you'd be 1, 2, 3, 4. If we do this again and then we break again, now you're going to be thinking, well, perhaps one of our earlier counts that is still potential, right? The 5 is not in yet, and this is the 3. The 4 comes down here, right? If you do this in a 3, right, we can't kill that count yet. I wish that we could, right? Just to take it off the table. Right now, as it sits here, we didn't quite make a 50, right? To give you a little more conviction that it was a 2. It's certainly plenty deep, right? And of course, out of log scale, it's extremely deep. But we have to be consistent about how we're viewing this here. So in log scale here, there's just not enough yet to say, okay, the low is in, right? So that's good. Often the market will do that for you. We don't get conviction, and we really don't confirm it until we're going to need to break some of the structure that's up here before we can really confirm that we have a good low. But we have the start of a trend. It's not the prettiest, and it's nothing impulsive as of yet, but we can define it objectively as the start of an uptrend. Now, how long it lasts, and so it's a question of what degree we're looking at here. But as we sit here, and again, I'm just framing the 1, 2, right? So this little congestion here, and of course with the median lines here, if we're not going to pivot right on, right? Trading principle number 3, we'll wrap around it like a coil before the market decides which way it wants to go, right? If we're going to go back up to the upper parallel, this would be very consistent. But then again, right, if we get there, I'm just kind of looking at what looks similar here. This was that same sort of, could be, I think at that point we were thinking possibly A, B, C, working on a D, E, and then we would have carried on here, certainly with the implication that the 4 was going to go with the triangle. Right, with the depth of this now, I think general consensus is that we've got a 3 wave that with all of the ingredients for that pivot to be in. Certainly, right, it would be easier for us as technicians if we saw something impulsive come off of there. We don't quite have that yet, so let's. I think not enough here to make a change. Go down to a slow. It's essentially the same thing here, just more detail. Or let's go over here. But Bitstamp. Let's. I don't want Bitstamp. Where do I want you? I want you. Let's do. Oh Jesus! I should have had this ready. I know I've got Ethereum over here. Where do I want you? Yeah, I guess we'll do it over here. Okay, this will work. Well, I'm over here on Bitstamp. Now, big question mark, right? Is this the low? Are we in here? Well, you can see it finishing with a 5, and we had the, if I labeled it right, could this be some sort of 4-ish in here, right? Probably like along those lines, right? I can finish a 5 here, right? So if it's 3, 4, 5, and we're finishing the C down here. Okay, all right, but we don't. I mean, I'm seeing a lot of Elliott traders try and project something onto this that's bullish. Oh, God. Sorry, guys, I'm just really suffering today with allergies. Maybe a diag here. Maybe there's some sort of A, B, 1. I mean, we could do it in 3 different ways. Is this A, B, C of the 1 of a diag? Well, I'm not sure I love this as a 3-wave counter trend. Oh, perhaps we're doing it this way. I mean, again, rather than think, oh, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the die is complete. I think you got to be a little bit more critical of your own analysis if you're trying to call this a three-way, right? I mean, can we squeeze something in there? Well, probably. We're on a 4-hour, but does that? I mean, in the swing structure, you're going to try and squeeze a 3 into that? I think that's a force fit. So what can we say with objectivity? Well, this is relatively clean 5 coming down here, but this, well, how much you label it. So here, all I've done just with regards to trying to identify the swing structure, can we clearly can we call this an uptrend? Well, for those of you that perhaps have done a little review of the market structure and how we can identify strong and weak highs and lows, well, we can make a pretty good case here. Now, I've just wicked off some of the lows here. Oh, when we're coming down here, we get this high here that swings. Here we get a retrace. Here's a lower high. The anticipation would have been that carries on. And you actually get a higher low that gives you a higher high here. So all of a sudden, now this could have been a 3 here with a short C. And again, we're anticipating, right? The swing structure would imply that you're a push to break this low. Well, it doesn't happen, right? So we end up with, in this case, we get a pivot up here, a high, right? It's lower than this high, but this also fails to do its job, right? This pivot has a job to do. Its job is to break this low, right? Create a new low and carry on with the downtrend. It fails to do it. Right, so in actual fact, what happens is this low, with the failure to break this low, now we get a higher high, right? So we have the initial ingredients for a trend change. Here's the pivot. Now this becomes the strong high. This becomes now this is in turn. Now we can look in the future here. We get a pivot at that moment in time. We don't know, right? This could have just gone down, broke here, and the downtrend continues. We get a higher low here, higher than this low. Up we go. We break this. We get a break of structure here. I got a higher high, right? Again, what happens, right? Do we get a lower, right? Do we carry on? I get a higher low. So I have higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. And I confirm it because I've got 1, 2, 3, I've got 2 breaks of structure within the confines here of how we're analyzing the market. Now, if I go all the way out to the dominant, right, here's the last swing high, right? This is the last, oh shit, I was using that little, what the hell was I using? Well, shit, it doesn't matter here. I can just do it this way. This is the last pivot that did its job, right, at the higher degree that gave us a new low, right? So all of this is internal swing structure, but the internal swing structure is giving us an uptrend. Now we can't confirm out at the higher degree a trend change until we break this pivot up here. That's 32,373. We can't confirm, right? And we can have an uptrend within a downtrend, right? It's just part of corrective behavior. Right here, this is the range we're in, right? Swing high, there's the low. Right now, with regards to market structure and SMC analysis, this is the last swing low that did its job, right? So we analyzing this with regards to the algorithm that we know will be responsive in here if we go dominant to dominant, right? Without regard to the internal swing structure, dominant to dominant, well, we're coming up on the 50. Now, there's a few things on here that you may not recognize. This is I've had the fair value gaps added in with the Sonar Labs indicator, right? Again, you guys know we partnered with them. So you'll see here all of these little stripes here. These are imbalances between candles. So we just zoom in here. You can see we get an imbalance between the close here and the open here. So we have these little pockets here. So this is just an imbalance. So the market's moving so quickly, and it's not unreasonable to anticipate the traders didn't all get the fills that they were looking for. So as we come back to those, they tend to get filled in, right? Could be orders, it could be a pivot, right? As we see here, we came right up to it. Now it's interesting over here. What we just did is we come up and we just wicked the little imbalance right here. Now again, this is, I wouldn't be going, heavy on a short here just because we bumped into an imbalance zone. But if there were additional confluence here, as we see, you might, at the very least here, if you were long off of the golden zone here, this might be an area to tighten up a little bit because we see confluence here. What do we see? Well, first thing we see, right, we get a golden corner, right? It's 80% is realized to the tick. right? We come right now. What's interesting here is not only do we hit a golden zone, we've got a demand zone here as well. And in fact, we've got a stacked demand zone here. We've got two of them back to back, right? So if ever there was a trade that you would want to have a heads up for here, as we hit that golden zone, the fact that I've got two demand zones there should get your attention, right? I think I posted this a couple of days in the room, like, but a candidate here for this to run. At the very least, we know that, again, right? So said this, I don't know how many thousands and thousands of times. As long as this pivot holds, we have an 80% probability of getting to that median line. Should probably fatten that up a little bit, right? That's 80% odds, right? Single best odds in trading. I've said it in every video I've ever done. Right? How many of you caught that? Well, it's not that you might, how many recognized it as a golden corner, right? I mean, you've got the golden zone, but did you remember to put the median lines on it, right? So you had a fair target. Now, we know there's a target up here as well. There's an algo target up here. Now, well, first we got to get through the median line, right? So here, right, we just looked at, when we looked at the daily, right, you're not always going to get a pivot right on the median line. But do you think I've shown that at least 10,000 times. Do you think that's coincidental? Yeah, I promise you it's not. So additionally, we can look at this and say, well, what likely happened here in addition to that, right? For all the people that don't know that that's there, which would be 99.9% of the traders on the planet do not know that, right? Pretty big advantage for us. They don't know this rule. They don't know to anticipate that. So what else can we deduce from that, right? Who's buying there? Right, likely retail, right? They're buying the breakout, right? What happens is, now it remains to be seen, right? The breakouts, right? They don't all fail, right? We'd forever go sideways, right? At some point, that's likely to break if this trend is going to continue. Now you look here and you say, well, wait a minute, don't I have a higher high here? No, you technically don't, because we don't have a close above this pivot. We've got wicks that have gone through, but we don't have a close. So we can say with regard to the internal swing structure that we have an uptrend. Now, can we get an Elliott count on this that we would have a lot of conviction for? Well, yeah, we could label it. You can have a lot of conviction in it. I think perhaps not, right? I mean, what are the choices here? I think what looks this is the swing that I think is really gives you pause here, because we might be able to think A, B, C. Well, let's just label it. Oh, perhaps we can go A, B, C into a one wave, right? Of thinking diag. Okay, well that's at least the swing structure is there for that. Okay, A, B, C. Maybe these are confusing, more confusing than anything else. Now that I've kind of made that point, let's get these off of here. I can get them quickly here. Okay, I will leave this one down here as the last swing low. Okay, so I've got an ABC. Okay, so well, all right. So what would your first thought would have been? Oh, we're just correcting, and down we go for a new low, right? That this would be the last pivot low. We've got a series of down. We got not only is the Elliott clear here, we would be anticipating corrective action here. We just had an impulse, right? We just had an impulse coming down. So the fact that we don't do that gives bulls, okay, maybe something starting here. Now, but if you were going to do that, what would you think? You might think, oh, 1. Are we calling this 2? It's really a difficult force fit, right? I think you're compromising here too soon. It's too soon to do it. So how are you going to get that into a 3? Right? I mean, your best case is you're going to have to do something like this. Now, how much conviction do you have in that as a 3? I mean, if we blast off here, right, we're going to come back and say, well, that's a very unusual 3. Jesus, is it even? Oh, you're going to have to truncate the. I mean, it's so bad. I mean, just regression channel, right? Often a good thing to do. Really, is this corrective? Right? We got a wick out of here. I feel like it's a force fit here, so I'm reluctant to trade off of this. Now here, I don't have to worry about anything other than the fact I don't have to think about, oh, where's the Elliott count? How is this fucking me up here at all? Well, because I've got so much confluence here. I mean, even I probably should have. Well, you can see it here, right? So here, I've just drawn, let's back up so you can see this, right? Which is just a good idea to do. I'm just okay. Here's the swing. Here's the last impulse that I can identify clearly. All right. It's funny how this stuff works, right? Where's the POC? Right there. Right? Where's the greatest amount of trading volume through that entire swing down, right? Now, I'm not tracking all of this, but just through the swing down, where's the point of control? Right? So do we have a little confluence here? Well, you could certainly put a channel on this. Now I'm going from the last swing, right? The last higher low here, right? Higher high, higher low, right? Swing, retrace. Now, if this is going to stay internal, this becomes the important pivot. This is the last high. I break down here. Now, why is this a demand zone? Right? Because if you look at the internal swing structure here, right here, as we come back into it, we've had some breaks of structure, right? So this is you've got this huge confluence corner here. Golden zone, demand zones here, the POC. You got a whole, geez, what do we have underneath? All right, so you've got a big volume spike here as well. I mean, there's a lot of ingredients there. So what's the risk reward there? If you just, oh, come here. Shit, where are you? Oh, shit, it takes me a minute to, oh, Jesus, where are they? Here we go. Okay. Here we go. Okay, there's your target. Stop below, let's go below the demand zone there. It's 14 to 1. That's 14 to 1, assuming that all we're going to do is tag the median line and that we're not going to get the algo target. Algo target is 18 to 1. So given the risk profile there, even if you gave it a little more room, right? Now you're at almost 10 to 1. You're giving a little more cushion for the possible stop. Remember, every pivot, right, is a potential stop run, right? So the fact that they can't get that, right, is encouraging here, right? Geez, I mean, you wouldn't even do that. Right? There's what do we get there? There's 13 to 1. I mean, you really don't have to give that a whole lot of room, right? We always want to try and enter the market as close to where we're wrong as we possibly can. Now, would you have known what? Geez, am I wrong on the Elliott count here? Well, if we think about that, if this is here, let's make this. Let's take this up. Here, we'll make it minuet so we can see it a little better. If this is 1, 2, and I'm going to have to live with an ABC into that 2, which I'm okay, right? You're going to have to prove it to me before I really embrace that. Okay, maybe. And, you know, do I have a real 5 there on the way down? Well, I'm on a 4 hour. Maybe I can squeeze it in there. I don't like to take trades where I'm force fitting something because it fits my bias. Right now, everybody who's ever watched me knows I'm a raging long-term bull on Bitcoin. So, but I want to be careful about accommodating my bias. Is that really, is this a 1? Well, maybe. Okay, but so what is if this is a 1, let's think about that. If that's a 1, what does that imply? Right. Okay. So let's tee that up. Okay. So here we'll take some of this stuff off, just to clear up the chart. Oh, come here. Okay. So if this is going to be a 1, here we'll even take this stuff off. All right. Let's just focus on the chart. If this is a 1 and this is a 2, right? We're going to go with an ABC. The implication is that I'm going to have a diag coming out of this. Okay. Well, what that means then is that I'm looking for 3 here, not an impulse. So to stay consistent with that, well, I mean, I suppose I could have this would be a massive, there's a way that we could get an impulse here coming off of that if it's going to be a massive ABC, but I think that we would start to distort so far, you'd be rethinking that labeling. I mean, I suppose 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, I mean, it could be. But now when you find yourself doing that, going, okay, 1, 2, 1 again, is that a 2? 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. By the time I get to the third 1, 2, I'm suspicious of, is this just bias trading? Right? Is this just me looking for a reason to be long? Well, again, right? This is about a $3,000 move here. Was it even more than that? Yeah, a little more than $3,000. Right? So could you make money here? Yeah, of course. Right? It's not a bad little trade. I'm not saying necessarily get out. But I'm saying you certainly have hit a location here to where seeing the market react. So, okay, if this is going to be, if we're going to go 1, 2, well, I got to have an A, B, C to stay with the diag structure, right? If this is A, B, C, and if that's A, B, C here, well, what, right? Let's label it, right? This has got to be an A. This has got to be a B, and I'm looking for a C up here. So maybe I get the upper parallel here. Oh, shit. Here, let's get those in yellow, and let's get them in the appropriate degree. Okay, A, B, right? Am I going to get a C here? Maybe second target, right? We wouldn't be looking for, well, let's measure, right? We would certainly want to, at some point, have measured this out, saying, okay, well, at the very least, I'm going to look for 100. This up here, 1272, in a diag, that'd be more common. This would be less common, right? We'd be looking for the 1618, 175 in an impulse here. So the 1272, note what else we'd have here, right? We'd be right on edge of value. We'd have a little, oh, there's probably an order. I'm sure there's a little order block right here, right? Last up before the down. So we'd have a little order block here. So if this is going to go into that, here, let's just play it out, right? We're going to go up here to get a C. Okay, well now, okay, let's see, let's play it out. See, does that make sense? Oh, A, B, C. All right, we're gonna allow for this, right? Just for this scenario, A, B, C. Okay, now do I have my 3 here? Came right into a supply zone here, right at the edge of value, right? Here's where 68% of the trading happened through this downswing here. Okay, right, we're coming right back to it. Okay, can I do A, B, C into a 3 here? All right, well, what's the implication then? The implication then is that this 4 has to come mighty deep. Right, because if it's going to hold as as a diag, we got to overlap the 1. So this becomes not optional. This becomes mandatory. Right, we got to do that. Okay, so let's stay with that. Okay, this is the come here. This is the low. Oh, I guess we'd have to do it that way. Oh shit! Here, I guess we'll do it. We'll do it like this. Okay, and bring it. I guess we can bring it back here. You're kind of, it's not ideal, right? So you can already see some of the structural problems with this, because essentially, what do we really do right here? We just go sideways, right? This is just a range. Now we're potentially breaking out of the range. I wouldn't be ready to call it yet, right? Because really, what we're doing here. All right, we're just range bound here. Now we don't, and all we've done is come up and test the upper edge of the range. What do we know? Most ranges, 90% fail, right? So you'd want to sell that, not buy that. Where's the absolute worst place you could possibly enter the market? Right here. Right, I think we're all in agreement on that, right? I've been over it thousands of times, right? That's the worst possible place to enter, right? We're a good place to enter, right? Golden zone. 1, 2, 3. Okay, let's say we get it. Now you're gonna have to. What's the retrace going to need to be? And if that's the 1, we're going to need to retrace. Oh shit! Let's get. If that's the 1, this one. I feel like I've got a second one in there. I do. So let's get this one out of here so as not to confuse us. Okay, so if this is right, remember in a diag, we'd want to see 1 through 3, and we'd want to look for a retrace to the 50. Well, okay, kind of interesting now. So could I get all the way back in? I only have to go through by a tick. So if this is the 1, this is the 2, I'm going to get, and I don't have any of this, right? If I'm going to go 3 here, well, I've got to at least come back to the 50 from the swing low. Okay, maybe, right? Maybe that works. Here, let's get this out of here. All right, that may or may not be a factor. 1, 2, 3. A, B, C come down here. Now, what would, of course, off of that, you're looking for A, B, C, right? Because now 5 has to be longer than 3. So we could measure here from the length of 3, if indeed, right? Again, I don't have this, right? But if I'm going to go here, well, here's the minimum requirement would be, what am I at? 30,744, right? We've got to at least do that. So let's take this out a little further. Maybe we get something like that. So what do we? Here, let's redo the whole thing here, so we can draw it up and say, all right, what does this look like? 1, 2. Again, don't have this. 3, 4, 5. Okay, let's step back on that. Oh, give that a little more structure to be consistent with the channel. All right, let's pull that out. The only fly in the ointment that I see there is this very, very weak 2. Right, this one I struggle with to call that a 3. Right, 2 standard deviations. I mean, it's really your That's an Elliott shuffle, right? If I've ever seen one, but it may be, right? If we get this, we'll be back here and say, well, yeah, there. Yeah, I guess we're gonna call it an ABC. This seems to be the best case for bulls. 1, 2. I suppose the alternate would be, oh shit, I don't. If we go 1, 2, I suppose this could be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we're going to get a big impulse here. But that you're going to need such a deep retracement here. We actually don't want that here. What we want is this ABC to not get too far away from us here, because it's going to be a bit, well, for this count, right? You're not going to want to see the 4, going that far. But if we're going to go, knowing that we're looking for a 50% return, and again, this is a tendency, not that the market must do that here. But if I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, and I'm looking for a retrace that has to at least come and tick one tick below the pivot of the 1, assuming that's going to hold as the 1. Well, this starts to, now additionally here, I've got imbalance here, right? So here's the fair value gap here, another one here. So if we were to come back down here after that big push up, right, again, which I do not yet have, if I'm going to go get that, well, so then the question you're asking yourself, well, hey man, if that's going up here, and you just told me this is the single worst place to enter the market because it is, how am I going to trade this? Well, if this is the A, and this, I'm going to work through a B here. Oh shit, can I get that? Oh, I probably can. It's a little bit of a force fit again. You'd have to go, Jesus, how are we going to get that? Oh, just to keep it a little more, never the first click. 1, 2, 3, let's do that. Force fit, it's a little squishy. A, B. 1, 2. Here's a little. You might have to do that as a WXY. It's not ideal, right? So I mean, there's nothing here that's like, oh, really? Okay, right? So I've got swing structure here. So I got break channel, but here's a change of character, retrace, break of structure on the internal swing structure. But do I really have a good, clear, corrective? Jesus, do I? A, B, right? Is that, no, doesn't really work, right? So it keeps you a little off balance, saying, okay, well, that's a 3 all day. A, B, C, right? We're gonna have to go to some sort of a truncation here. You can't work, so you'd have to do it that way, or so you'd have to come here and go A, B, C. So this would have to be B, and then you're gonna have to squeeze into a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? Again, it's a force fit all day long, right? It may be what we're stuck with, but you're force fitting. So as a result of that, how much conviction do you have in it? When you have conviction and you really want to get aggressive on a trade, it's going to look like that, because majority of the time, well, not always, right? But for a trade that you really want to go be aggressive on, that's what I want to see. This, I'm like, well, fuck, it could be, maybe, okay, it's kind of, sort of looks like. That's not a trade that I want to be aggressive on. Now here, we had additional technical confluence here. Now this is not the golden zone we were looking at here. This is the one from the swing low. So actually, I'll tighten that up a little bit. Right. So if we're gonna come down here and get this, well, what do I have here? Is this an impulse? Is this going to be the B? Jesus, how are we even going to do that? Oh shit, I'm really not seeing that here. Just real quickly. I'm going to do it this way, so I don't lose it. Let's go to a 1. See if I can even get something in here. Looks like I have to do a WXY. So it looks like I might be able to do that. Looks like I can get a 5 here. Oh, so here let's see if we can make this. This is going to be where you're going to have to compromise here. I guess I can get rid of that. So it looks like you'd have to do it this way. WXY. I'm guessing that looks like it's technical. Not quite. Do we get it here? Second target. Could be. This one looks like it's too far. On the first one, yeah. Well, that is wicks only at the break. Okay, you're kind of, once again, right? Is this an ABC? Is it really? Elliott's not perfect, right? It's not gonna be perfect everywhere, right? As we go to lower degrees, is that AB? Is that it? Iffy, right? Iffy. So, okay, we're kind of allowing for the market to kind of guide us here based on the swing structure here. The Elliott is dubious, right? Maybe, right? Again, maybe. Is this a good one? Right? So you're right back here. Even on the hourly, is that 1, 2? Is that 1, 2, 3? Is this how we have to label it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's kind of unusually large here. Is that what we're looking at for this B? So if this is the B, all right. Well, now I need another A, B, C, right? So am I going to get? Well, pardon me. If this is the B, I could do this as an impulse here. So is that my 1, 2? Okay, let's just consider the possibility. Now, first question: do I really have an impulse here? Do I? Let's see if we've got that. Right, and I guess the reason to be this picky and fastidious about all of this is, okay, people are starting to get a little more bullish, right? Is it time to get that bullish? Well, one thing I can say for sure, at least me personally, I would never touch that, right? I would never buy that, ever, right? And I would. Why do I say that so emphatically? Because I've done it way more times than I'd like to confess, right? Way more. I mean, you get to a point where you've done it so many times and you've lost so much money, you just say, I never do it again, right? And it becomes not just a passing guideline, but a rock hard rule. I never do that, ever, because I've lost so much money doing it in the past, right? You can take my word for it, learn from my pain, or you can do what I did, which say you're going to have to, the market's going to have to teach me, right? The market is going to be a much more expensive master than I will be. Master is the wrong word, teacher, right? So, but the market is a cruel master. Okay, so 1, right? Okay, so maybe I can get a 5 into this. It ain't pretty, right? So where's your 4, right? 1, 2. God, is this a 3, 4? I mean, it's just messy, right? It's just not clean. It's not enough to say, okay, I'm inside 2 standard deviations. Is that an impulse? Could I squeeze one in there? Okay, well let's try, right? Is this enough to take a trade off of? 1, 2. Right? So this can't be the 3, 4, right? Because then I'd have. Do I have a diag here? I don't think I do. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I can get an impulse into this. There's an ABC into a 2, but that's not. Oh shit! Here, actually, maybe I can do this here. If that's 1, 2, could that be? That's going to be too short, right? That's got to be the 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Jesus, it's very iffy, guys. It just is, right? It's not enough for. And listen, if there's an opportunity to buy Bitcoin where it's technically attractive, but I'd be a buyer, right? But this is just not there yet. So what do we got here? So if this is the A, right, which is already a little iffy. Okay, so I got a 1. I'm going to live with this 2. Okay, 5, 3. Well, we don't want that to be it, right? Can't be it, right? So we could have an impulse here. We could have an impulse in this C. It doesn't have to be right over here, right? It doesn't have to be in line with this structure. So if we're going to do it, if this is a 5 and this is a 3, well, I don't want to fail here. So what's the implication here? I got to have 1, 2. I got to get a 3, right? Now I could have an extension in the 1. 3 doesn't have to be the longest, just can't be the shortest. So I could do something, right? If this is the target, I could do something like this. Maybe we have a deep 2 and we don't get a big 3. We do something like that. Right, as long as we stay above this pivot, right? Again, 3 just can't be the shortest. So we could do something like that. Come into it. We get an impulse out of this. Big extension in the 1. All right. Then you'd have something where, see, at that point, then you'd pull back here and you'd say, okay, well, I had a shitty 2 here that I didn't have a lot of conviction in, but I waited until I got this 3. Now, if I were to get that, now I've really confirmed the count here. So this becomes a huge area of interest. Right, swing low, swing high. Where's the again? I don't have my pivot up here. I don't have this. Where's my most Well, we actually don't want it that high. I'd have a requirement here. I've got to overlap this, right? If it's going to play as a diag. So where do I want to see that go, right? I actually don't want this going that high. I want it to stop right there, 27.5. So I get an A, B, C, right, at the order block. Now I come back down for the 4. What I'm looking for here is 1, 2, 3. Now I'm interested. Because I waited through all of this slop here and said, okay, now this I can, now again, it doesn't mean guaranteed winner, but it means I can be a little more aggressive here because I have conviction in this now. Now I'm all the way down to the hourly. Okay, so let's put this here. Let me go back to a 4 and put this in context. All right, is this really, are we really being crazy bullish here? I'll get out of there. Right, this is the target here. Can we break? This is where we get a trend change, right? If we can break that. All right, let's open it up. So we'd be here. Let's get this out of there. All right, so here's what we're trying. This is, I encourage you guys to do the same thing, right? Draw it out. Say, does this make sense? 1, okay, if that's going to be my 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, let's give that a little bit more time to get there. Again, okay, that could fly. That could fly nicely. Okay, right, it's just starting to warm up to me. But look at all I don't have. I don't have this impulse into that C yet. I don't have a 3-wave into that correction that's going to overlap the 1. I don't have any of this. So I think we're in, barring the very shorter term stuff that we just looked at, like that golden corner that just popped for 3K. If you're out here on the broader swing structure, it's still a little bit of hurry up and wait. We want something to confirm, right? This is going to show it to me. See, I'm not. So think about this, right? In FOMO, right? We all are vulnerable to it. If this just pops up here to 27, is FOMO going to hit? Oh, it's going to hit a lot of people. Or am I worried about that? Well, I mean, nothing says we have to stop up here and we could start blasting off, but the odds are, right? And if I'm trading this with my Elliot hat on and I'm looking at this saying, well, that's going to have to do that. Now we're going from 27 to 22. That's a 5K retrace. That's a requirement for this pattern to hold. Right? So how serious is the FOMO? Maybe not enough. Right now, of course, whenever you take a stance like that, nothing says that we don't just blast off, right? I mean, it's possible. So you're allowing for that risk based on your technical skill set here. And again, that doesn't mean that you're going to be right or that I'm right about this. But as I sit here looking at it now, if I'm trying to plan out a campaign here, well, right now I don't have enough to really lean into it. Because there's certainly nothing that prevents this from just doing this. Oh, it's corrective, and down we go. Why am I leaning this way? Higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, right? The internal swing structure is bullish. But it's just not pretty Elliott, at least not yet, right? Now, a leading diag would be pretty if we got it, right? I mean, this would be just gorgeous, right? Bulls would be, well, Elliottians are going to be, screaming at the top of their lungs. Look at that beautiful leading diag. Oh, okay, but let's say we get that. Just for conversation's sake, we break the pivot here. Well, let's just use the pivot. Let's break it a little bit. All right, so now do you have FOMO? Oh, shit, I should have. God damn it, that guy told me not to buy that. Fuck. What does he know? Well, you might be thinking that. But if this is, let's play it out. If this is a leading diag, right, that's a 1. What am I looking for? All right, if this is going to be, let's go up to a degree that makes sense. Here, I'll go big. Let's go back to white so we can see it, right? All right, I got my leading diag. Oh, shit, man. I could have bought it down here. I didn't do it here. I bought it here. I got out here. Guy told me not to buy it there. All the things that you might have been thinking here, say, man, I listened to that, and or even take me out of it. I applied my Elliott Wave analysis here, and I saw that leading diag, and I didn't buy the 4 for whatever reason. Now it's confirmed. Now I've got a good leading diag that's completed a 5. I've broken the structure, so I know for a fact I'm now in an uptrend, at least here on the 4-hour, because I broke the dominant high, the strong high. I broke it. Right? Trend confirmed. What is the next thing we're anticipating? That's a long fall, right? To pick up the 2. Because if this is going to go, right? If this is, take it back to the higher degree. If this is 2 or if it's 4, either way, minimum target is the prior high, right? 69 and change. Well, now come all the way back down here. If this is 1, 2, well, let's just play it out. If this is 1, 2, where's the 3? Where's the target for the 3? Right? We know that's going to be, approximately very close to the 1618. Right? The negative 100 will be close to it. Here, we can just draw it out. For those of you that are not familiar with this, right? So we do something like that. Here, it depends how deep we go. If we go here now, right? So he'll be the 1618. Let's get rid of that one. If this goes 1, 2, right? Somewhere in that range here, I'm going to be looking for my 3 up here. Well, I'm going to assume it's not going to go that fast. Now, where are we? Let's finish it. 3. It's not right. Where are we? Okay, this would be again, if these are a lot of ifs, but this is an exercise worth doing. Right, let's here. Let me take these off so we don't pollute the screen too badly. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. I got a leading diag. Right now we're no longer question mark. We've got good conviction here that the low is in. What was our low here? 17 and change. We got good conviction here. I got a nice leading diag, right? High probability here that the hard low is in off of the, we will call it crypto winter, that we went A, B, C, we're in. Now could be 4, still could be a 4, still could be a 2, right? We don't know yet. But if this is going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I'm just going to use traditional Elliott Wave relationships here, I'm not yet to the, this would not be bad news, because what does that imply? Here, if we get, let's go to a 12 hour. What does that imply? What did we just do here? Right? Whether this is 3 or 5 and this is 2, we just completed a 1 wave. Let's go down. We just completed a 1 wave. All right, so now this is where, here I'm prone to bringing on the bull porn, because this is what I think is going to happen. It's just a matter of when. Well, you don't have to agree with me. Now, could I be wrong? Of course, right? I'd be dramatically wrong, right? We're going down to new lows, right? I've seen projections to go to, well, some to go to 0, right? I don't think that's likely. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All I did was the 1. Oh boy, FOMO. If we're up here at 57, FOMO is going to be severe. Right? What are you waiting for? Right, back into the 30s, right? There's your money wave. There's the money ball right there. So we can put that together right here. Right, now you're looking for big action. Let's put that all together. We got a 2 here. Where are we looking for that 3? All right, I'm starting to get a little sexy now. Right now, all projection, right? It's just here. I'm just a little bull porn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 120. And what is that, right? If this, here's the real bull porn. If this is a 2, what did we just do here? That's the 1 of the 3. All right, now you get to where, oh, come on, man, come on, right? I genuinely think that's over the next 3 to 5 years, this is what's going to happen, right? I don't say that lightly. I genuinely think that's where we're headed. Well, I think the old 70K is going to look quaint. Like, oh, isn't that cute? Back when we were at 70K in 3 to 5 years, right? Just like we thought, oh, 20K was, oh God, can you believe it got to 20 when we were at 70? Now, we came all the way back below 20, right? And shit happens, right? Nobody knows, right? I'm using technical analysis here and Elliott wave relationships to project, right? Nothing more, right? This is not if it does this, am I gonna dig this video out and show it? Probably, if I can remember where it is. But just don't feel like, oh my God, I've got to get in. It's starting to go up. Plan it out, right? And make a distinction between, okay, if I'm looking out here, think 4 hours and above, and then 4 hours and below. So what type of trading are you doing, right? Because we just looked at a trade you could have taken off of the 15 or a 30 minute. You're taking that golden corner that went right to the median line. I mean, it's a 3K trade. There's nothing wrong with that, right? I mean, certainly, shit, right? Congrats if you caught it. Right? I know several got it, right? I posted it in the room right as it was happening, so I know several got it. But don't feel like, oh my God, I gotta jump into the market here because we're off to the races. No. What's the absolute requirement that has to happen? We have got to break this high. Right, we have to break this here, right? That's the dominant high in the downtrend. We can't confirm an uptrend here. We can't confirm it at the higher degree until we break this 32K, 32.4, I think is actually what it is. But right, don't sweat it, right? If it breaks it, remember 2's coming, right? 4's coming, larger degree 2 is coming, right? Shit, we does this, we'll all be coming. Okay, gosh. Jesus, what is wrong with me? Okay, guys, I'm going to wrap it up there. Jeez, I went long there. Okay, when I started, I was like, oh, shit, I don't know how much I got to add here, but this is my tendency. Here, once I get going here, I got too much to say. All right, guys, with that here, I'm going to wrap it up. Oh, shit, here. I'll just real quickly here, I was going to do Ethereum here because this had a, oh, shit, here, let's come over here. I got half you guys probably already left. Yeah, okay, so here we go. So here's Ethereum. Still question mark. Is this the 4? All right, still of course log scale. Is it 5 into the 2 or is it 3 into the 4? Right? Can't eliminate it for either. Right? Now, what is interesting here is the internal swing structure here. So here out in the 24-hour, okay, do I have a nice looking channel? Yeah, I do. Right? Do I have a clear target? I do. Right? 10, 11 grand. Okay, do we have it yet? Well, this gets interesting here. Now we come over. Oh, here's where the swing structure was really good. All right, so this also it's a little tricky here because you're not sure. Is it ABC into a 1, ABC into a 2? But I get a really clean impulse here coming off of this, and look how beautifully technical this is, right? So with regard to the combination of both Elliott structure as well as market structure, right? So all right, so I'm gonna live with this. So here, oh shit, I should label it here. So we're gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's get that down, right? So we get a 1, 2. Now 1, 2. It's mighty deep, and again, you have the same problem here. Is that really a 3? Well, you got to do it, right? It's just like Bitcoin. You got to do really. Oh, shit, I don't love it, but what comes off of it? So I really went back and forth when I was looking at this, saying, okay, is this what have we really done here? It's just a range. What do you want to do in a range, right? And of course, it's always easier after the fact, right here. But once I've got 3 pivots, I'm pretty sure I've got a range. And when I don't take out the low here, because what's sitting down here, right? Liquidity, right? The market, the fact that it can't get it, right, is why we come out of here with so much imbalance. So is it 1 ABC? Right, I considered that, but then there's a pretty solid impulse that comes out of this. And then you start to use your tools to project. So, okay, if this is 1, 2, 1, 2, well, how might I help identify that 3? Well, can I really squeeze an impulse in there? Well, 1, 2, 3, yeah, I can. Oh, you probably got to do it a couple of different, well, you could do it a couple of different ways. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you could do 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5. Or so you can get that done, but this is what I used. I just said, okay, well, if this is my 1 and this is my 2, where'd I go here? Okay, well, I'm well past the 1,618, so I checked both of them. So if this is 1, 2, and then I'm going 3, well, how do I look? Oh, here, yeah, we can keep it out of log scale. If this is 1 and this is 2, I get this. All right. So a little bit of a conundrum here, because if this is 1 and I went 1, 2, is that 3? Right? Is it here? But then you start to look at the internal substructure, and I think not, because oops, that's not what I want. Because I've got this nice 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So now the other thing to note here, if I pull from the 2 through this pivot as the 3, I'm in between the 38 and the 50. What do I get right here? Demand zone here. Right, here's and you see it's now the strong low because it gave us a break of structure. It gave us a new high. What did we run into? Supply zone. Look at the algo target. Right, so you see how this, that's the reason that I think the market structure, and in particular the SMC conceptually here, where we're running into supply and demand zones here, in many cases you're using it already, you just don't realize you're doing it. Right, so 1, 2, here we come right into a demand zone here. We have one below, right? We have another one here. We go all the way up, we tag the last supply zone. Right, interesting how that happens. So this looks to me like 1, 2, 3, now we're waiting for 4. Wouldn't it be interesting if we caught it right at the next supply zone here? So if this is my 3 and that holds as the pivot before we start to retrace, right? That kind of sets up nicely for a 4 right here. So a few things to keep in mind. Okay, guys, there you go. I ran too long here, but I wanted to come over and take a peek at Ethereum as well. Okay, you guys have a good weekend. We're back Monday. We're back on schedule now. I'm fully recovered from whatever crud I had. We will be back Monday for a live stream. Oh, I've got some content coming for Ninja people over the weekend if I can get it done. And with that, I wish you guys a good weekend. We'll catch you on Monday.